Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Yeah, it's good to be back here again. Okay, in this video we shall continue our discussion on references, and particularly in this video we shall be talking about how to reference textbook, be it the textbook in print or the e-textbook you see online, or even e-documents that you find online. Okay, so in our previous video rather, we said that there are characteristics to references: the name, the initials, the year, the title, journal source, volume, EU, pages, and the DOI. And we said that this is also peculiar to every journal article. The same thing also goes for textbook, with a little difference. So every of these sources, like we established in our previous video, either the journal article source, the book, the textbook source, or the online source, they have their own different rules while referencing them. Almost the citation goes the same way. We've talked about that in our previous videos, okay? But the citations has some little differences. All right, without wasting our time, let's quickly dive into what we really want to talk about in this video today, and that is how to reference a textbook. Okay, how to reference textbook. Yeah, before I talk about what I have here today, let's quickly go back to our example. Yes, what I show you, the journal article I show you in our previous video, where I show you how to how to reference the journal article. All right, let's see what's there again. Okay, I think this is the first one. I'll still be showing you another article where we can talk more better, or to show you more examples rather. Okay, let's look at this journal article, and let's see. The last time I checked, I saw a textbook. I think it was under him. All right, that's very good, thank you. Now a textbook can be in form of normal textbook that was written and published, like in form of ebook, and then the one in print. And also textbook can also be your research project, like the research project you write, and once you're done writing it, you publish it online, either for your undergraduate level, for your master's level, for your PhD level. Okay, so having established that, I said this in order to show, because in order not to confuse us, because there are something that will be seen here, and I wouldn't like us, it might raise a question, or probably it might confuse us with what we see in other journal article. That's the reason I want to make the clarity here. All right, on the norms, like we said, journal article has names, initials, year, the title, then for journal article, not as the journal source, but when it gets to textbook, there is nothing like journal source, okay, because it is not a journal article, but rather it is a textbook. So unlike the journal article, where we have the journal source, we have the volume, we have the EU, we have the pages, these are not evidence, or these are not present in textbook, and it won't be included while referencing a textbook. So let me show you how to reference a textbook here. Now, this particular citation is not a textbook per se, but is a form of a textbook that comes in form of a doctoral dissertation, okay, a PhD thesis or dissertation, depending on the climate where they call it dissertation and PhD thesis. Okay, and the thing is that it will be cited, it will be referenced the same way we reference a normal textbook. The only thing is just that we have to show that this is not a normal textbook, but a thesis or a dissertation, but it follows the same way. All right, so let's quickly dive into what we have here today. Now, let's look at this. Let me zoom out so that we can see. Okay, can I see zoom out? All right. Okay, what do we have here today? We have maiden. The maiden is the surname as usual, then the initials, full stop as usual, then the year 2020. Now, this is the title of this dissertation: Nigerian Women Entrepreneurs Strategies for Financial Inclusion, a generic qualitative inquiry. Okay, then we have a doctoral dissertation, Wilder University, United States. So this particular dissertation was published by Wilder University, and Wilder University is located in United States. One thing that we need to note when it comes to referencing textbook is that aside from the name, initials, and the year, including the title, in our journal source, when we get to the journal source and then the volume, we italize them. But when it gets to textbook, we are going to italize the title. Please kindly note that difference. In our journal article referencing, while referencing, we italize the journal source together with the volume alone. But when it comes to textbook, we do not italize that, because as a matter of fact, textbook does not even contain such kind of information, but rather we italize the topic of that textbook. And in this case here, the topic of this dissertation is Nigerian Women Entrepreneur Strategies for Financial Inclusion, a generic qualitative inquiry. Now, in order for us to show that what we are using is a doctoral dissertation, that's the reason why we have doctoral dissertation here. And if it is a master thesis, we are going to put master thesis there. Okay, just bracket it. The reason why is just to show that this is not a normal textbook per se, but a form of textbook that is a PhD work or an MSc work. I hope you understand. Then after that, we are going to have the university where we are going to write the university where that particular article was published. Sorry, that particular textbook rather was published. And for the case here, what we have here is Wilder University. And after that, please, after writing the name of the university, we must put a semicolon there. And after that semicolon, in front of that semicolon, we are going to put the country where that particular textbook was published. Now, assuming this is a normal textbook now, this is not a doctoral dissertation. The difference is that this doctoral dissertation that we put in brackets here, we never reflect. All we are going to have is Nigerian Women Entrepreneur Strategies for Financial Inclusion, semicolon, a generic qualitative inquiry, and then after that, full stop, that's the topic. After that, we are going to have Walden University, semicolon, United States, full stop. Now, if that particular textbook has a DOI, through which you can easily retrieve it online, you can put it. But most of the times, these things are not often present when it comes to textbook, so we don't include it. But these things are important to be there in textbook: the name, the initials, the year, the title, the university where that particular textbook was published, and the state. Now, in a normal textbook, textbooks are not published in university. They are published by publishers. I'll take that again. In a normal book, in a normal textbook, not book. In a normal textbook, textbooks are not published in universities, but rather textbooks are published by publishers. And then we have the states or the country where it is published. Now, this is where the difference also comes in, the additional difference between when we are publishing, or sorry, when we are referencing a normal journal article and when we are referencing a dissertation that was published. Let me copy this and bring it here in order to show us there is something I want to there's something I want to show us here, rather, in textbook. Okay, I think that was copied. Let's go back there again. I want to show something so that we are not going to get confused. Copy for clarity's sake. All right, we have this here. Now, assuming this is textbook, it's not a doctoral dissertation. Like I said, this will not be there. Let's remove the doctoral dissertation. It will never appear there. It will never be there. Full stop. Now, like I said, textbooks are not published by universities, but they are published by publishers. Okay. Now, for the case of textbook, we don't have a need for Walden University. We have no business with Walden University. So let's remove that. But it was published where? In United States, right? Okay. The country where it was published has to be there. So after the topic or the title, we have the country where it is published, which is United States. Now, if the information, if we have an information on the particular states or the particular, yes, I think in country too, yeah, in United States, those yes, they are also called states, like Texas State, New York, and all that. Okay, fine. So if we have an information about where the publisher is in that United States, we have to put it there. Now, let's assume that in this this particular publisher that published this particular work in United States is in Maryland. All right, so we have to include Maryland just to show that this particular publisher is in Maryland in United States. And then we will include the name of the publisher. Now, what I can remember here, we have Sage, because that particular article we are using was published by Sage. Yes, so we have Sage. This is telling me, or let me say, this reflects that this particular textbook is published by Sage. Now, if you have the deal, how we can put it, how we can see the difference between publishing, referencing rather, a normal textbook, okay, referencing a normal textbook, and when we are referencing a dissertation or a master's thesis that was published online. Now, assuming it is a textbook that you have in print from your library or from a bookstore on your bookshelf, then there is often an additional information that is called edition. Either that textbook is first edition, second edition, third edition, whatever edition that it is, you have to put it there. So this edition comes after the title, before the United States, like sixth edition. Then United States, Maryland, Sage being the publisher. All right, so that's the difference. Now let's go back to our journal article. Let's see if we have more example in that particular place. Now I think I saw more than one. Okay. All right, without wasting our time, let's move. I think I do not see more example here. Let me show you another particular example in another article. Yes, I have opened another article here. Sorry, but this time around, I will be showing you how to reference a seminar, a publication from a seminar. Sorry, I have to on my internet. A publication from a seminar, or probably a conference, seminar on a conference that was published. It also falls under the category of, let me just say, textbook, with a little difference. Yes, or probably let me say I am the one that classify it as I am the one that classify it as referencing under textbook. But the fact, okay, it is wrong for me to classify it as referencing under textbook. It is referencing under journal. But however, I didn't show you why. I did show you in the previous video, but it is important for me to show you now. Okay, so let's move here. Yeah, sorry. There's an information I want to pick here. Okay, let's view the full text. There's another article again. All right. When I was looking through this article, I saw something. Fine, that's good. In fact, I'm so excited here. I am so excited here. Oh, okay, I made a mistake. All right, let's see. This particular publication here. Sorry, there is one thing I want to call your attention to here, and that's the fact that this particular journal source does not follow fully the upper 7th style. Okay, it doesn't follow fully the upper 7th style. I want us to know that, because you might be wondering that, oh, the second line does not start under the 4th alphabet here. So please, like I established in the previous video, every journal article has their own referencing style that they follow, and this particular journal article does not follow the upper 7th referencing style. And that's the reason why you see that the second line is starting from where the first line is starting here. Okay, like I said, I saw something that, yes, referencing a textbook. Oh, I can't pick this. I can't copy this. All right, let's look at this particular work. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we have Brockingham, Fijastad, and more, 2008. Taxation and state building in developing countries, capacity and context. This is in form of a textbook, like a text. Oh, sorry, not textbook. It is also published by a university. This is also published by a university. So I'm sorry, that's not textbook. Oh, at first I thought it was textbook. Now, this just established my example of what we said about publishing when it comes to dissertation or thesis. There are times that it is not even dissertation or thesis, but it could be a write-up, and the write-up could be empirical, it could be rather conceptual, it could also be a position paper, and it is published by a university. And that's what we see here. Another example of publishing under textbook that is not a real textbook in itself. And that's what we have here. You can see the names of the authors, the year. This is a mistake. Full stop should be there. And so then we have the title, Taxation and State Building in Developing Countries, Capacity and Concepts. This particular article was published by Cambridge University Press, UK. Cambridge University Press in the United Kingdom. Okay, now let's go back to the main reason why we are here. I'm looking for Yes, I think I've seen it here. This is, yes, like a conference. This is like a conference paper or a research paper, position paper that was presented in whatsoever where it was presented in that particular university. This is another example. But sorry, this is not classified under textbook. Please, this is not classified under textbook. This, we can still classify this under referencing under journal article. Okay, but I just have to come back here simply because in the previous video I did not establish this. Okay, now let's see this here. Christian A 2008 Sovereignty, Taxation and Social Contracts Legal Study Research Paper Series. University of Wisconsin Law School, Social Science Research Network, and the page number. One thing about conference paper, seminar paper that was published is that most of the time there is nothing like volume. In fact, as a matter of fact, there is nothing like volume, there is nothing like issue. And that's the reason why they are not always there. You know, they are often published by the university where that particular conference took place. Where that particular conference take place. So that's the reason why here you'll be seeing something like volume, you'll be seeing something like EU number. So on a norms here, just like our journal article, while referencing journal article, we have after writing the topic, you know, then we go to the journal source, right? And then we italize it. But for conference papers, for instance, now what we have here is the conference papers. So conference series, the conference series where that paper was presented, and the conference series, the name of that conference series is Study Research Paper Series, and this is being published by University of Wisconsin Law School and Law School, their Social Science Research Network, and that's the reason why we have them in italics here. So the name, the series of that conference, or probably the series of that research paper or anything, the series of the conference or the series of the research paper, the university where the particular conference or that research paper series is being floated, and probably if a network exists together, these are the things that will be in italics while referencing a conference paper. How we can see the difference here. All right, let me look for another one. Okay, this is another one here. We have Cloutier 2021, Social Contracts in Sub-Saharan Africa, Concepts and Measurements, Policy Research Working Paper Series, World Bank, Washington, D.C. You see now, this is also like a conference paper or a working paper series or a research paper series. They all fall under the same category. After the name, the initials, the title, the year rather, we have the title, full stop, and then we have the name of that series. Either working paper series, research paper series, conference proceedings, conference, or wherever. And those that are publishing them, and if that information is available where it is being published exactly. Now, for this case now, after the title, we have Policy Research Working Paper Series that is being published by World Bank in Washington, D.C. And that's the reason why you can see here, Policy Research Working Paper Series is under italics. It is being italicized. As we can see, we do not italize World Bank and Washington. Okay, let me look for another one. I don't think I can see more example here. I can't see more example here. Okay, I think what I show you here was able to pass the point I really wanted to pass to you. All right, before we end this video, there's another thing you need to know that I need to call our attention to. Yeah, under publish, oh sorry, I said publishing, under referencing when it comes to textbook. Okay, and this is what we have here. Let me bring this up. Sorry. Let me bring this up so that we can see. Now, there are situations whereby we find documents online on the web. And these documents could be published by a corporate body. If you could recall, in a previous video, I showed you how to cite corporate body. Corporate body also refers to organization, author. That is, organization are the one that author that particular document. Corporate bodies are the one that operate that particular document. The same thing. Now, how do we reference them? It follows the same format too, but with a slight difference. Now, let's take a look at what we have here. Now, this particular article is, just know that what you are seeing here is not the real thing. I just have to bring out something so in order to show us what we need to do. Now, for instance, this particular one was published by Deloitte. Deloitte is a corporate body, an organization. And what we need to do is that we put the name of that organization, Deloitte, full stop. Then 2017, the year it was published, the name of the article too. And for here, what we have here is that the name of the article here is tax policy. And you know is a document from the web page. A document from the web page. And probably that web page, we got that document from the web page of Deloitte's organization itself. So there is nothing like we have a publisher, there's nothing like we have where it was published or whatever. All we needed to do, pick the name of the corporate body, the year, the title, and the URL. Please, what we have here, this is what we call URL. Instead of DOI, Digital Identifiers Number, this is what we use in replacing that URL. This URL also works like the Digital Identifiers Number. Assuming that I want to look up this particular article online, note this particular article is not real, I just put it there. Okay, now assuming I want to, and this link also is not real, I just put it there. Now assuming I want to look at this, I want to look up this particular article online, all I needed to do is to copy the URL and paste it online, and this particular article is going to pop up for me. However, there is something I want us to note here, and that thing is that after we've written the topic, please, we have to italize it too, just like we italize in normal textbook or in dissertation, a published dissertation, thesis, wherever. Okay, so another thing that I need to call our attention to, here, this is a quick one also. Now, when we found a document, a web document online, but it doesn't have author. There are times that we find documents online that doesn't have author. Yes, they don't have author. How do we go about that? But now, this time around, we need to talk about the citation before we talk about the references, because I could recall in the previous video on citation, we didn't talk about this. But I quickly have to bring this here so that we can note, call attention to it. Now, assuming we found a document, a web document online with no author, how do we cite it first? We just have to bring out parts of the words that makes up the, or let me just say, the heading of that particular document. The heading of that particular document and the year that was written on that document. That is how we cite and also we reference. Now, For instance, if you could recall in our previous video, why citing at the end of a statement. This is the example that we have here. Let's see what we have here. This is just for instance, so it's not a complete statement. Now, okay, what we have here: may not predict outcome in later life. And who said this? Researchers replicate famous 2018. It doesn't have an author. It's just title of that particular web document. So we have to put the title here: researchers replicate famous 2018. Now, if citing at the beginning of a statement, like we established in our previous video on citation, how do we do it? Like I said, the title of that web document. For instance, now we are citing at the beginning of a document, a statement rather. What we have here: a recent article, researchers replicate famous 2018, revisited earlier findings, whatever, 2018. Now let's go. How do we reference it? We are going to bring out the title and the subtitle, whatever we have on that document. I'm going to bring out the title, the subtitle, the year, and the month. And then the URL, like it was established earlier on. Now, what do we have here? You see, researchers replicate famous marshmallow test, make new observation. That's the part of the title that makes sense in that particular document with no author. And then we put in the year, the month, and then the URL. The URL like we have here, which helps us to easily look up this particular article online. Okay, there are more to referencing textbook online, because we have a situation whereby we need to reference a particular chapter in a textbook, or we need to reference a textbook that was edited by another person in a particular textbook, like a chapter that was edited by another author in a particular textbook. How do we do that? Like I said, this session, like what we are having here, is just a quick rundown for this video. It's just a quick rundown so that we can just establish the fact that citation is not complete without following suit with references, based on the structure we are following to release video on this channel. Okay, like I said, all these things are going to be discussed in depthly later. Yes, later, not immediately after this one, but in our subsequent video. And I am doing this so that we can easily move to other session in our chapter 2. If you could recall, all these videos we've been making all this while have been around our chapter 2. We still need to talk about chapter 1 of our work. We still need to talk about chapter 3 and the rest. So, this referencing is the last session of our work. I just need to quickly bring our attention to it, so that while citing, we also need to know for the fact that it is important for us to reference. Okay, so that will be all for now in this video. In the next video, we shall be talking about how to reference online source. And this is quite exhaustive, it's much. But however, I'll quickly do what we could do, or something we could work with for now, before we start talking in depth about them in the future. All right, if you have any question, please kindly drop it in the comment section. Like this video, share it with your friends. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.